So when we talk about courage, we usually think of doing something to overcome our fear, like jumping from a plane when you're skydiving or standing up to our bully. But if we actually think about it, it is every single choice we make every day to be a better person. That is what courage is. From saying simple hi to someone when you have social anxiety to putting out your ideas in front of your boss and asking someone out on a date. All of these things are courageous acts. So in this video, I wanted to dive into some key concepts of courage. What are some misconceptions about courage? What steps we can take to build our courage? How we can get out of our comfort zone? And what I personally do and what I personally recommend. So without any further delay, let's get into the video. So first of all, I want to get into some misconception we have around courage. So for some people, courageous can be being fearless. But if you look at it closely, it is not the absence of fear which makes someone courageous. It's facing the situation regardless. That is what courage is. For example, if you're moving to a different country for your education, for your work, that is not you did out of fear. You did it anyway. You will have some fear around that, but it's being courageous enough to take that step in the right direction for your career or for your own personal journey. And obviously different fears require different kind of courage, which we will dive into further in the video. Now, other misconception is courageous have to be some big dramatic moment. You walked into a fire and saved someone, or big moments like you jumping out of again airplane. That's a basic example when courage comes to mind, that you conquering your fear, like for example of height. Maybe I have some fear of height, but that's completely different topic. But my point being that waiting for those dramatic moments in your life to be courageous is not what being courageous means. It's taking those small steps in your day-to-day life. Now, some people have another misconception. They think some people are born with courage and some people just don't have it. But if you look at the word courage, it's usually developed over time. For example, if a child has been encouraged since childhood to maybe go on stage and speak, they will be courageous to speak in front of a lot of people. That is not something they were born with, but they were encouraged over time, and now they can do it. For someone else, that can be a complete different thing to do, to be that courageous that they can go in front of like 1,000 people or even like 50 people or even 10 people and go and speak. So what courage actually is can mean different for different people. And another misconception can be, pushing yourself to a limit, showing that you are courageous, but it's not always true. Assessing a situation and making an informed decision can also be an act of courage. These are some of the misconceptions we have around courage. Now let's move forward that how we can personally identify courageous moment in our day-to-day life. So first of all, we can be courageous in our day-to-day life. Your triggers can be to put down your phone, to either study or to work on yourself. Either you're, learning how to code, you're learning a new skill, you're learning how to play guitar. All of the time when you put the phone down and you take that small step to build a better you, that is a moment of courage. Every time you skip a chocolate because you understand that you want to get into a healthier lifestyle is a moment of courage. You wake up and you decided that you can't go to gym, but you're going to exercise for 10 minutes in your home is an act of courage that you took, because you could have easily chosen not to do it, but you acted courageous and then you implemented it. So that is an act of courage as well. Now, it is very important to understand that our courage triggers are very unique to us. Like one act, for example, a person who skydives with other people, it's not a courageous thing for him to do. It's his day-to-day life. But for us, it might be the first time we are ever jumping out of a plane. So that's a courageous moment for us. So it's very unique. It's very personal to us. And it depends a lot on our personal journey as well. Every single choice you make are act of courage. If you are on that journey of personal growth and self-improvement, you deciding what to do with your time is an act of courage. So we have to listen to our voice, that why we are doing what we are doing. Now let's move on to how you can build this over time. So the first thing is from there. I said over time because things take time. So if you focus on this, that it is a long game, then it kind of take away the pressure to make that change instantly. So accepting that everything takes time, changes take time, is the first step to be courageous, that you're accepting that nothing is in your control and you cannot beat time. Time is the universal truth. There's nothing above, below, before, after time. Time goes by in the same speed on Earth. Not sure about other planets, but here it goes in the same speed. So all you can do is just accepting that yes, things take time. It will take time and it's a slow process. But if you accept that from your heart, then that is the first step you can take to be more courageous. So now what we can do. So first of all, we have to identify what are the areas of improvement. You need to understand that what you need to learn. So when we understand our limitations, then we go and actually do something about it, like either reading a book or watching a video. And understand the importance of first step. So if you want to be more courageous, let's take some real example. Maybe some of us want to progress in our career, get promotion, get paid more. So what is the one thing you can do? You can take extra responsibility at work tomorrow. Okay, not tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Or whenever the opportunity comes, you can be the first one to volunteer. So even the step of volunteering first, saying yes, I'll do that, that is being courageous. Now there are other things, like you might think other people will say you are people pleaser, but we have to understand that when we are taking that decision, it's because we want to move in our career, not because I want to please the boss. It correlates, but your intention matters. If you're just there to please the boss, and if we are letting other judge us, then it doesn't really matter, because we are doing it for ourselves. And understanding that we have to take that first step is very important. Okay, let's move into a different example. So the goal is to ask someone out, and if we can't even go and say hi, how we are going to ask someone out? So the process is just saying hi, not to your crush, but anyone, any stranger, just to build up that confidence of talking to someone in a public place. Just say hi to anyone, pass a smile, maybe don't even say hi, pass a smile. But as you build your confidence around talking to strangers, then over time you will improve, you will accept that yes, you can do that. And then it's all about taking that small courageous step to going forward on this personal development journey. And in the end, the whole goal should be focusing on the journey, because if you are just sitting there and thinking about something in future and we are not taking those first steps, we are not being courageous enough. Even watching this video is an act of courage, because understanding that I need to learn something is an act of courage. And there can be other many examples, like if you want to be a firefighter, the first step is not jump into the fire, it's filling out the application form, then getting selected, cracking the interview, training, and then you will get slowly into fire. That's how courage builds. That's how everything builds. There are loads of occupation where people give example of courageous people, but at the same time, they are humans. We are humans. They are humans. They have just done some things enough time to not even think about it. So it's like second nature to them. And I've been reading this book, Atomic Habit, recently, and it's all about making their small changes and not worrying about how it might lead to, because whatever positive change you made in life, somehow, some way, it is gonna come back. Like that is kind of like how universe works. So let's talk about how you can overcome this, obstacles of being courageous, like taking those first steps. So we have to understand, like, what is the thing which stops me from doing anything? So overcoming any obstacle requires us to understand ourselves and our motivations behind it. So if you want to, get successful in career, you need to ask yourself why. And you can be like, why not? Everyone needs money, right? But yeah, why do you need money though? Is it something you need now? Or is it something, you can survive on the money you have now? We usually kind of fixate ourselves. We usually understand ourselves based on external circumstances. Personally, for me, I think money is one of those external circumstances. Because of money, society judges you. I'm not saying money doesn't give you happiness. It does give you happiness, but money kind of takes away the thing. So most of the people are very career oriented, and they neglect other things in their life, like relationships and their body, their mental health and stuff like that. But if we start understanding ourselves, and if we are on this path of self-development and self-improvement, we need to understand all the aspects of life, from career to our mental health, physical health, our relationship, and financial growth as well, and whatever other criterias you have. So if you have a basic understanding of yourself and where you need to go, and if you understand that yes, this is something which I need to do, then you have understood yourself. And accepting our weaknesses and strengths is one of the first thing to be courageous. If you're accepting that you are weak in any of the area, that means you have enough courage to accept that you lack in any of the area. And after accepting that, we should have enough courage to do something about it if it bothers us. So my weakness can be I'm very socially awkward, I'm very lazy, I get distracted easily, struggle to film videos on time, and I accept that. But what I'm trying to do is make my process easier, remove the obstacles which affect me in making videos regularly. I will get slowly into how to edit better, how to write better, but the first step is to post consistently. That is what I've recognized about myself. I can focus on quality a lot, I can do that, but I have understood that this is something which works for me. It takes time, it takes a lot of trials and errors, it takes time to sit down and ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing, basically. Now, the other obstacle has to be understanding the outer circumstances. So understanding what is an obstacle and what is a dead end. For example, if you ask someone out and they said no, it is a dead end. You can't think of it as an obstacle, because then you'll be stuck in that cycle of trying your everything to please that person or change their mind. This is how things work. You need to understand, you need to learn how to move on. And if you are stuck around that kind of topic and you want more videos around that kind of topic, let me know in the comment section. I'll try to put a video out and hopefully it will be a bit helpful to you. Now, the whole approach of asking ourselves our weaknesses and strength is more about tackling that obstacle. So for example, if I get distracted easily, what courageous step I can take is to maybe lock my phone in a different room. I don't have a different room, I would have done that. Or not constantly check my phone. Like, it takes courage It takes determination, it takes motivation to not look at your phone. It is a real issue. Phone addiction is a real issue. When you are watching something on your phone, like a podcast or YouTube video or even a TV show, like again, it depends on your intention. So when I'm working and I'm on my phone, that is a distraction. I need to be courageous enough to put my phone down and work on whatever I'm working. But if after a long day at work, I have nothing to do, I came back at like 7, I don't want to record a video today because I'm going to do it tomorrow, I can be easily on my phone. Like I don't have to guilt myself that I'm not doing something productive. I can easily just lie in bed, watch my phone, watch TV show. Like it should not personally affect me because those are the decisions I have taken consciously based on my circumstances. But if you talk about anything, it can be you want to, be success oriented, or you want to graduate with a first class degree, or you want to ask someone out. Everything always starts with the first step. So whole thing about obstacle is asking yourself the why it is an obstacle, why you are doing certain things. So understanding the why will help us to take those courageous steps. After all this, we have to get out of our comfort zone. So stepping out of our comfort zone is a whole different approach we have to look towards. Basically, it's our own emotions and our own insecurities and mostly internal things which we kind of like tends to hold on to, and most of the time why we don't take small steps in our day-to-day life is because of our internal emotions. So the first step to get out of our comfort zone is to start within. And again, as we are a learner, we do understand that yes, we need to have more self-awareness, and we need to kind of identify those when we are taking those courageous steps. So the first step to build our emotional intelligence, this is just a quick tip in this big topic, is to understand your circumstances wherever you are, about money, your friends, your family, your situation, and kind of like learn slowly how to navigate through it. So that is one of the first steps. So that is what I meant by building up emotional intelligence and understanding ourselves. If we understand this, then getting out of our comfort zone become a bit easier, because now we understand that our emotions are triggered by different situations, and when we understand what triggers our emotions, then we can kind of not control them but kind of get around them. Now what this has to do with courage, right? So when we understand our weaknesses, our emotions and everything, then we have an option to make conscious choices about things. So for example, if my emotions around talking to a said person is, or they might humiliate me in front of everyone, they might shout at me, and they might do all these weird things which I have in my mind, because it is not reality, that has not happened, it is before I even approach the person. So if my actions are based on those emotions, and if you look at it from a different angle, and I understand that I'm gonna go and say hi because I am learning something, I want to apply all this knowledge in my real life, I want to go and say hi, and I'm going to see how they react. It will be a learning process for me. So if I'm taking an action or not taking an action based on a future circumstances which I have in my mind, won't lead to anything. But if I take that action regardless of the outcome, if that person talk with me, good. If that person doesn't talk with me, fine. I'm gonna learn something from the conversation, and I don't have to take it personally, because others' opinion doesn't matter. So building our emotional intelligence and not caring about what other people think is one of the first step. But for example, if we talk about me jumping from like a plane again for skydiving, then I need to find that motivation or emotions around that. Like for example, I don't really care if I have a fear of height. Like it doesn't really bother me, in a sense that it's fine. If I'm like at the top of a building, I'll handle myself, it's fine. So understanding what my comfort zones are and why I need to get out of those comfort zones is important as well. And again, it depends on personal circumstances. It depends on individual circumstances. And with this also comes the act of letting go. So if that conversation, for example, didn't turn out well, I learned from it and I let it go. If I had a chocolate yesterday, if I am gonna think about I'm not really following my diet and I'm not really paying attention to my health and stuff, like I should let it go. Tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow I'm gonna make different choices. Whatever I have choices, I'm gonna make tomorrow and day after tomorrow and day after tomorrow. It's all gonna accumulate, and then it's gonna show me the result. For example, if you go to gym one day, or if you don't go to gym one day, it doesn't change how you look. It's the accumulation, right? So if you have been going to gym for 6 months, it will matter. If you have not been going to gym for 6 months, it will matter. Same with food. If you're gonna have one chocolate today, it's fine. You can have one tomorrow, day after tomorrow, you can have one for the whole month. But what are you going to do on the 1st of next month? Okay, it's fine, you can have for one more month, but then it comes with accepting of who we are and taking that first step to not have the chocolate that day, right? I can't go to gym this week. It's already Tuesday. Tomorrow I have to work, and Thursday is not, I don't feel like it because I might have to record something. But if I am just doing 10 push-ups, that's fine. At least I am doing something rather than doing nothing. It's all connected. It's all about taking those first steps, being courageous enough to accept the things and being courageous enough to learn from things. All depend on that. Now, in a nutshell, like what I will recommend. So it depends on personal circumstances. It depends on individual person and their motivations and what kind of life they're living. So for me, I'm a follower of Sanatan Dharma. What the core principle of the belief is that all I can do is work on myself today. Maybe tomorrow I can like kind of planish thing and I can have a broad rough plans like, okay, I'm gonna go and see my parents in a couple of months and then we're gonna do this for like I have a holiday plan for next month, and those are like fine. But if I'm kind of focusing on the outcomes that, oh, if I'm gonna make YouTube videos, I'm gonna earn a lot of money. I will be honest, those were my instinct for like let's say 3-4 months ago. I'll be very honest. But it has changed. Like you understand the self-love and everything, that it doesn't really matter. Like I can think a lot of things about people and what they think of me and what if I do this is gonna cause this and stuff. It doesn't really matter. I have to be a good moral person, follow my dharma, and get whatever I deserve based on my karma. So these are the principles which I personally follow. So for you, if you want to have a successful career, you need to understand why you need to have a successful career, and then you have to just go for it. So again, to have a successful career, what you can do, you can be a better employee tomorrow. That's all you can do. You can plan that you're going to be manager in 5 years or become a CEO of the company in 10 years, but that won't happen. Like you can plan it, you can aim for it, you can make the goal, but what will matter is what you do tomorrow or even today. So the core basic is same thing. Like you have to, be a better person every single day based on your personal circumstances. There's no pressure. It all depends on individual person. We are all unique. If I'm going to talk to someone, that person is unique. So I cannot judge anyone based on my reality of other people. People can talk whatever shit they want to talk about me, or they can talk whatever good they want to talk about. That should not affect who I am as a person. If I'm letting people affect me because of the bad things they say about me, that is not good for my emotional health. And if I'm letting me affect myself based on the good things people say about me, that is not good for my ego. So I personally am trying to not focus on the result and just work. And it takes time. I'm not saying I'm there. I'm not even 1% there. I'll say forget 1%, I'm not even 0.1% there. But for me, the first step was to accept this and move forward. And this is all I want to say in the video. Like all you can do is just accept and move forward. It's very hard when you are on your phone every single day. It's hard to put that phone down and take that first step of putting the phone down and saying, okay, for 10 minutes, I'm gonna think about, let's say, my next YouTube video. Or, okay, for example, today I'm not gonna eat that extra chocolate, or that I'm not gonna have that extra portion of food, or if I'm having a burger, I'm not gonna have fries. So it takes courage to break out of habit. Like personally, like if you say to someone that, oh, today I didn't eat chocolate, people can never understand what motivates individuals from inside. It's individual journey. For you saying hi to a person and someone else saying hi, it might not be a big deal to them, but it is a big deal to you. So this is all I want to leave the video with. So if you like this video, hit like button so it can spread across people, and share with this video if you personally think that this video might help someone. And if you have any thoughts, please put them in the comment section. And recently I finished another book which is called How to Win Friends and Influence People, and I have kind of like not reviewed that book, but kind of put in my personal perspective on the book and my views around that topic. So if you are interested in something like that, video will be here roughly, and I'm going to see you in that video. Goodbye.